Oh, yep. Yo, what's good? My name is Timothy Glean, and I'm coming at you with one of these videos. Don't mind me looking, if you see my eyes wander back and forth, I'm experimenting with looking at a second monitor, which I have on top of my camera, along with the monitor that I see on my camera. I'm just looking back and forth, but ultimately, this is a video. I just want to kind of just explain myself. And not to say I have to explain myself, but if you know me personally, you know that I just explain myself because that's just the type of personality I have. And I'm very straightforward, direct, and I just want you to get it, you know? So I made a video on my story basically stating that I would make this video of speaking about these issues that, I was having within myself. And the reason why I spent the last several months cutting myself off of communication from people. And it's a little touchy subject for me because for the past 3 years, I've been separated from people. And I've almost been celibate, for 3 years. And I've had custody of my children for almost 2 years. Also, anytime I expressed a thought on social media, I was attacked. And I had many people disagree with me. And also many people that I love I felt in the spirit, were very scornful towards me. That had some sort of evil eye towards me. And nobody ever checked on me and said, "Hey, Timmy, how you doing?" Now, over the last several months or so, like I said, and even over the past year, this year even, there has been people that I believe been contacting me, but I don't pay attention to like messengers, or I don't pay attention to the messages. If you don't really have my personal phone number, I'm kind of just not, but ultimately, these past 3 months, I cut everything off drastically and radically in a way that most people aren't used to. My whole life, since I was a child, I've always been this person. When I was 2, 3 years old, I used to always hide in cupboards. I was not talkative to people. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't feel like talking to people. I just wanted to be to myself, and that felt a lot better. Now, of course, the more I grew up, I had to speak to people, but I didn't want to still. I didn't like school. I was forced to go to school. And I should have been homeschooled. Glory to God for allowing my children to be in this position. But, yeah, the past 3 months, I feel like God wanted to get a hold of me. And this year was so much going on. And I didn't give enough of myself to God like I did the previous year when I first confessed myself being a Christian. That was last year, last spring or something like that. But so this year I was deep in my sin, my sexual sin, and I was deep in a lot of prideful things too. I just released a project called Christian Rapper, and when was that? In May, I believe, late May. I released the project Christian Rapper, and when I put it out, just releasing the videos and stuff, it felt great, to release the videos. I'm paying for ads, and I'm connecting with people all across the nation, and I'm gaining a little following, a little fan base, outside of Buffalo, because I realized my fan base is not here anymore. My fan base is wherever God wants it to be, and that's what I have to look at. But ultimately, I was feeling prideful of all the things that were presented before me. But there were great signs that showed like that I am on the right path. But it was the numbers that I started to kind of like get into, and just like the social media presence, and just the outward appearance, the outward look. I was the flesh, like that was something that I was putting deep emphasis on, and how I'm presenting myself and this and that. And not to say I cared about what other people thought. It was more so in my heart, and just this ego of this music industry that can really get to you, once you Went you deep into it. All right. So after releasing the project, it was I just noticed it was something off about me. That even though I'm creating this music from a genuine place, I'm not walking in it. I'm listening to my songs, my own songs, and I'm getting convicted for myself. And I believe it was a deep purpose for that. I believe I made Christian rapper for me more than anybody else. But I felt some deep convictions. I felt myself being false. I felt myself being a liar, a hypocrite. So many things, and not to say I feel condemned for it, but these are inner things that I'm feeling. But life is moving on, so in June I just like picked up a bunch of stuff and just put it on my load as far as like, I just started a second business, and this year I've started two businesses, so I've put a lot on my plate as far as like what I'm shooting and just the stuff that I took on. I took on a lot, so I'm feeling, feelings of conviction and condemnation inside. I'm taking on a lot of tasks at once, and also I'm a single father of three children. Well, even waking up every day, it just felt like a chore. I'm dragging out of bed just to, and it was just a lot on me, and I don't believe a lot of it was too much. I just believe it was a lot on me. So, in the midst of taking on all these tasks, feeling these feelings that I was feeling inside, I had this prayer that I wanted God on a deeper level, and I didn't know how I could do that with everything in front of me. So, what I did in July, I booked a trip to New York City. Um, I feel like God called me to go to New York City. Um, it felt very radical to do, but it was a great purpose, and His will was done, and I'm glad that that happened. But yeah, I booked a trip to New York City, and so prior to going to New York City, it was late July, early August. I just felt this call from God to just cut everything off, and I was in the middle of a lot of stuff, so it was very drastic, and in many ways I feel like I just probably severed some ties. Hopefully I didn't, in a way that is not able to be recovered. Hopefully these things will be able to be recovered, but I definitely cut everybody and everything off. Like, it was moments of times where you're gonna have to speak to some humans, you're gonna have to speak to some people, like, obviously, but like, I cut my mom off, my sisters, my brothers, everybody. So if you're somebody that's outside of my immediate family, you shouldn't get offended, because I've done this with everybody. And I realize this is me. Not somebody that unhealthily, or in a radical way just cuts people off, but I've always been this person that is an introvert. And over the last several years, I forced myself to be an extrovert. I forced myself to be on them stages. I forced myself to be in crowds and venues and places that I felt like I didn't belong. That was never me. None of it was. The drinking, the drugs, the partying, all that was never me. I forced myself into that because I was doing music. So I had to reevaluate everything in my life. And God wanted me to be separate from everything. God wanted to get a hold of me so He could show me who I truly am in His eyes. And also to show me where what I need to do moving forward. What I needed to clearly hear from God. And it was too much surrounding me. It was too much noise that I just felt like I needed to cut everything off. Like, I'm dealing with a level of misunderstanding on a level that is higher than most human beings, where most people don't understand me. Most people don't get it, So it turns out to be a blessing that I cut myself off from everything, And like I said, I'm dealing with custody of three children. I took a lot on my plate. I'm dealing with these inner convictions and condemnation. And along with that, I'm dealing with, like, court, dealing with court with the custody of my children and stuff. And I don't want to speak too much about that because it's still ongoing. But it is a lot of stuff. Let me go back to that court thing. First of all, y'all don't understand how stressful and depressing court can be for men in America. It is very depressing, and I was dealing with my levels of depression. And imagine everybody having fun and doing stuff this summer. This summer, I separated myself. With low to minimal human contact, but I'm glad I did. I got to go out to New York City. It was invigorating. I got to fulfill God's purpose. I eventually got sole custody of the children. Unemployment cut off, so now I basically have to figure out how to make ends meet. There's a lot of stuff that was on my mind and on my heart, and I had to learn how to trust God in it all, put it all in God's hands. And so due to this separation, I got to face a lot of things within. I've been celibate for almost 3 years, but I still was dealing with, sexual immorality, pornography, masturbation, and things like that. After shooting my first wedding video, let me put a lot of stuff in perspective about like a help meet, a wife, and how I've been speaking about women, and not to say I was wrong about it. I was not wrong about what I was saying about women. I was speaking facts about these women. These women are trifling, but that ain't all women, and that's something that I had to learn, and not really learn. I already knew that. I already knew it was good women, but I was acknowledging the bad more than the good. So I got to have moments where I got to YouTube research like women of God, like holy women, like women that follow the scriptures, women that fear God, not just a Christian woman, but, God fearing kingdom women. And once I got to see that perspective of women and got to see their viewpoints, their point of views, and like I said, I've watched a lot of videos on these women, and it's to study and research what I truly desire, and this is what I desire. And I got to learn that, like I said, that wedding was such a blessing for me to shoot. And while I'm editing it, I'm just cheesing, I'm smiling, and I remember that same week, it was like the week and a half after the wedding, and I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm about to just cut off sexual sin. Like, I'm about to watch no-fap videos, like, for like a couple days, and I'm just like, I'm about to dive into this. I don't know. I just felt like I was moved in my spirit to do that. And because I've done that, I would say it's been a great blessing for my life. Now, of course, 2 weeks after, not even 2 weeks after, literally that same week, I like buckled down on the wedding video, on creating the website and getting my pricing and getting a bunch of things together. The moment I cut pornography out, it seemed like immediate change in my life, and it was a blessing, man. Starting the no-fap thing as well, it was a blessing, and even 2 weeks after, I got back into fapping for another 2-week period, but I wasn't watching pornography while doing it. It was more so imaginative and being tempted by social media and things like that. So I got to gain more fortitude and discipline on that, because after that 2 weeks of fapping, I stopped again, and it's been almost a month since I last fapped, and I'm not releasing any seed, because this is semen retention. I'm not releasing any more until it's in my wife and we're having children. We're having babies. That's the purpose of it. And I got to, through this separation, got to see life inside of myself and value the life inside of myself on a deeper level. And because of that, I got to connect with God on a higher level, since I'm more so honoring my temple, honoring the life inside of me. And because I'm retaining the semen, the life inside of me, the seed, it's revitalizing me. Like that extra stuff that we push out of ourselves is rising inside of me. Like, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, just my voice has gotten more deep since doing this. I feel deeper levels of masculinity. I feel more bold and confident in my viewpoints and what I believe and what I feel and things like that. And I'm able to express myself in a healthy way without conveying it in a way which is angry and emotional, which is not even a masculine feature. It's a sign of effeminacy. So I had to look at myself in many ways, and God wanted this time for me to. This was like the biggest thing for me was my sexual sin, and not to say I was having weird thoughts and stuff around people and things like that, but I feel like the pornography and the sexual sin was, in a sense, it was like making me socially awkward. Like, I realized I've been doing it since I was 11. I've been socially awkward since I was 11. Just imagine growing up most of your life in a special way, getting teased, blah, 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 this and that, and then imagine your first time being around predominantly black people at the age of 10, and they're treating you the worse than any other human being, especially black women. And you're crackheads and you're basehead. How are you 10 years old hearing this stuff? I'm just skinny, and I got cross trekkers. I got Payless sneakers on, but ultimately all that led into my social awkwardness and getting into watching pornography and masturbation. It made it worse for me growing up in my life. Talking to women, it just felt weird. Like, I was at this event Saturday that I was shooting for, actually, and it made me realize how confident I gotten, where I can speak to the opposite sex in such a confident way. But it never, I ain't really have ulterior motives, but when I was on the pornography and the lust, it's like, it seemed like people could kind of tell, like that I was, not to say I had creeper vibes, but in a sense I did have creeper vibes, and like I said, this time that I cut everything off, I got to deal with that demon, and ultimately I've been delivered from God, and I do feel like in a way that was a big reason why God wanted to separate me, but ultimately God wanted me to be His, and I couldn't be His in the state that I was at, like all this stuff was circling around my brain, but after even this week, and like I just feel more confident, like in myself. I feel, like I believe in God, like, and as far as like I put God first, but there's nothing wrong with believing in myself and what God has entrusted me with and what God has gifted me with, and I think that's the difference between me now is, not giving glory to myself, but acknowledging some things about myself. I could give myself a pat on the back. I tell my children all the time, yo, give yourself a pat on the back. I wasn't giving myself any pat on the backs, but ultimately, it led to this overwhelming peace within myself. Like I said, since this no fap thing, I've been more confident. Like I said, speaking to the opposite sex is different. There's no ulterior motives. There's no anything, because there's a big purpose for this, and I desire a wife. And if you're not a wife, I can clearly see that on the surface. But that doesn't mean that I can't have respectful dialogue with you because you're the opposite sex. It's like talking to men. You know what I'm saying? I'm not attracted to men, so I'm not going to just try to just have lustful thoughts and talking to another. Like, that's how I look at a woman now. And not to say, no, there's some attractive women, yes. But even in that attraction, I'm not attracted to attractive women. If that makes sense. Like, yes, you are attractive to me. Yes, you can even present some sort of temptation to lead me back into the sexual sin that I'm in, because you are attracted to me, because I am attracted to women. But ultimately, with this semen retention, I desire to attract. I don't care about being attractive to nobody, like, or anything like that, or I don't care about the outward attraction anymore. I desire to attract a spiritual connection with somebody that I can be with for the rest of my life. And with knowing that and having a goal for the semen retention, it's also ways I could focus on my goals, improve myself, and improve my, just like be more mindful of the moment, and I have my children here. They're downstairs right now watching an educational program, but I'm at a place where I can be more active with them while we're here, because there's many days when I was on that stuff and I was too exhausted for anything, and it's still a work in progress, but ultimately I'm at a place now where I'm ready to come back into the world. I spent these past 3 years in this hibernation period. I've been celibate for almost three. I've been no fapping for almost a month. I had custody for my children for about 2 years. Like, some people need a break. I'm cool with being with my family so much that people have to contact me like, yo, Timmy, you need a break. Like, because I'm not sitting here complaining about parenting. I'm not complaining. And if I was complaining to God. But ultimately, it's invigorating. It's been life changing. My children being here, and it made me look at my conscience and what I've been doing in secret. Even more, because even the secret things that I do that they can't see affects them, and that goes for each and every parent. Even though your children don't see it, it still affects them. Rather you believe it or not, rather you see it or not, you're not going to see it until they become adults. You have to deal with the secret things of your heart, and that's what God wanted to reach. Forget me trying to use my mind to change things, to go off of my own volition, to let go of these sins and to let go of these things. No, God needed to grab a hold of my heart, but it was too much surrounding me. So if I've separated myself from you or discommunicated with you in a way that may have offended you, I'm not going to apologize because I feel like this was of God. But I will say, none of it was personal towards anybody. This was personal for me and my relationship and walk with God. And many people don't believe in God. A lot of people that are on my social media, actually most people on my social media don't believe in God. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that I say and been speaking about over the past year or so is kind of, not to say going in one ear out the other, but a lot of people don't watch my content anymore. A lot of people don't like my stuff anymore. A lot of people, but I know y'all paying attention, and I know y'all watching, and I know y'all aware of what's happening, and I want you to know that this is God, and what you see moving forward is God. Like, I'm extremely serious about this walk, and a lot of people know that. A lot of people in the music scene that I feel like haven't acknowledged me over the last several years. Like I said, I don't care about that anymore. I was upset about it, because how somebody that is as talented as I was, I feel like, and, that has the gifts and the abilities that I have that most of the people in this city don't have. And not to knock anybody, there's a lot of talented people. But when I was in my prideful mind, I'm thinking with the mindset, like, who can sing like me and rap like me and play the guitar like me and have this type of mind and way to express and convey myself and have the ability to perform the way that I do and to be able to produce my own stuff, to be able to record my own stuff, engineer my own stuff, to be able to do all these things and be capable of so many things that most aren't. It was my pride. God wasn't going to bless me. God wasn't going to allow the right people to listen. No, it was going to attract envy from people. And that's what I feel from a lot of people. It was going to attract, like negative feelings towards me. Because, man, if you could look back, if I'm looking back at my post and I'm literally saying I am the greatest that has ever lived. I'm greater than Michael Jackson. I'm the, what I'm saying? I'm one of the greatest human beings that has ever lived. This is the type of stuff that I'm saying. I don't have no type of humility, like, you think people are going to be attracted to that or want, even if I am talented, nobody going to rock with me in this town. That's why people wasn't rocking with me, because I was confident in my abilities, talents, and gifts, but I wasn't glorifying God with it. And that's the difference between me and now. Me then and me now, because now I'm gonna let you call it what it is. I don't care about calling myself the greatest or anything like that, but I know what I felt, and I just know that I'm talented. But now I can acknowledge the reason why I'm talented, and I can use my gifts to glorify the one that created me, the one that is the reason that sustains all things, the one that created heaven and earth, the one that sent the one to die on the cross to rise 3 days later. And you can call me crazy, but you can't say that I'm not talented. I'm even more talented because I glorify God. And you're going to see. But regardless, I know I kind of got on a tangent. I really wanted to speak about, Like I said, the reason I separated myself. And it was, like I said, many factors and prideful factors. And, even this month and moving forward, for the rest of the year, I don't even want to, like, release no music or anything. I got Nothing to Prove 3 coming out this month. But regardless of that, I don't care about this music stuff. I don't care even about this content stuff. I don't even care about this life stuff. Like, this parenting stuff is literally everything more than God. And that's something that I had to look at. Like, everything in my life. So many things that I made my God. So many things that I made my idol subtly that I didn't realize. God wanted time with me. God wanted a moment with me to be able to say, hey, son, focus on me. And all the things that you desire will happen. Have faith. So, as this hat says, with God, all things are possible. I wanted to wear this hat because I want you to know. And a lot of y'all have a different concept of what God is. I believe in the one that sent His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, to die on the cross, to rise 3 days after. That is what I believe in. And if you believe in different, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to this. I'm not going to that. But I'm not going to falter on what I believe in anymore for the sake of anybody else. And I got tired of the social media thing where everybody can express themselves. When I express myself, people want to come and refute me. Like, I don't care anymore about nothing. And that's a great thing about NoFap, is it made me more bold. I was already bold. It made me more bold. But it also made me more loving and more caring. And also that it's awesome that you get to see from this point of view, where you're not looking through the screen at words, and you get to feel your own feelings from my words, and you start to come up with your own conclusions to how I am. And people that know me for years, I've lost over 4,000 friends. I've unfollowed thousands and thousands of people across all the platforms. I've lost friends, people that call themselves my friends. They were never my friends. Once I revealed my true self, they showed me who they was. You know exactly who you are, too. And some of y'all still my friends, quote unquote. Y'all not real. You know exactly who you are. I don't. You know. But the Spirit's going to continue to show me. But regardless, if you real, then you really respect what I'm doing. Just like I still respect what y'all doing. The first rap artist that I listened to from this town is a signed artist and is known basically worldwide now. I am proud of him. Yeah, Jay Skis, you are the first artist I listened to. I came to your ciphers and stuff. I remember the one time in the New Era joint, everybody was scared to rap. I was only doing this for like 1 year, 2 years. Like, Jay Skis motivated me a lot, and if it wasn't for him, honestly, like, I wouldn't even really be on this scene like that. He the one that made me want to step out here. I just felt I forced myself to be in an extroverted way that was unhealthy for me. And, glory to God for everybody that's been a part of this journey. Glory to God for everybody that's been real with me, regardless. Because over the years, I've seen a lot of real people. And rather I believe in God and not, rather I become a Christian or not, those who I said I love you more than I've ever have. I love you more than back then. I love you more now. I love y'all. And there's a lot of y'all, I'm proud of y'all, doing y'all businesses and getting y'all stuff together. I'm proud of y'all. I'm happy for y'all. I can never hate on y'all. But my life is headed in a different direction. I'm reaching a different crowd of people. I'm connecting with a different group of people that are more like-minded, that are more in the life that I'm in. More true Christians, more kingdom believers, more kingdom citizens, more children of God. Ultimately, we're all children of God, even if we don't acknowledge it or understand it. But as far as those that acknowledge, the truth, and things of that such, I've been connecting with nationwide, worldwide. And it may be small numbers of people that I'm connecting with, but I'm building a network of Christians, this, and it's a beautiful thing, to be connecting with a new crowd of people that I've never. This is more me than anything else, and there are people in this town right now that has been a part of this scene that has respected me over the years, and you still respect me. I feel that from you. Y'all don't have to comment. Y'all don't have to message me. Y'all don't even have to validate me and tell me anything. If it's real, it's real. And if you've been real, you know. And I know. That realness, that never dies. Like I said, regardless if I'm a Christian and you're not, you're real. I thank you for that. Like I said, you don't have to comment. You don't have to view my stuff, view my stories. You don't have to. You've been real. And ultimately, I kind of did feel like going on this little rant because there's a lot, that I've got to look at perspective in. I was looking at the numbers being lower and maybe people not rocking with me. No, it ain't that people ain't rocking with me. It's just, some people really ain't rocking with me. Like, I lost thousands and thousands of people on my social medias. Of course, the numbers are just going to drop drastically from that. And then from what I believe in, everybody's not going to look into it, but that doesn't mean that they don't respect me, that they don't love me. Like I said, I love you more. Even those that hate me, I love you. Yeah, everybody that hate me, everybody that don't like me or dislike me for being a masculine man, I love you. And here's the new Timmy. Yeah, because when you come into the truth and once you get to know Jesus, you become new. And I'm not that weak, effeminate man that y'all used to love. That used to get hundreds of likes because I was effeminate and was validating women and was validating. Nah. I'm different now. I'm bold, I'm strong, I'm masculine. God has made me a man. And this ain't no, like, no. Because I'm this masculine man now, I desire a feminine. Like, it ain't about being an overlord, about me, man. It's really. I have videos explaining this, but I'm glad God separated me for me to see women more clearly. Y'all ain't that bad. I do believe me separating myself has put me in a position to receive God on a deeper level. And now I'm more comfortable with myself because of this NoFap thing. I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm very confident in myself. I'm not afraid to be myself. I'm not afraid to express myself, my thoughts, and my feelings. And I can do that in a respectful and loving way. And I can do that in a way where I'm not a pushover as well. And a lot of people will claim toxic masculinity just for me actually being masculine. Because on some real, the enemy don't want to see Israelite men like us be bold and stand on top of our our principles and morals. They don't want to see us. Well, I'm going to use the word black. They don't want to see us black men stand firm. Why do you think it's set up where we're being raised by women? Because the enemy doesn't want us to be men. And God has made me a man. And not saying in a 3-month span, this was a whole lifetime it took to get me here. My father died, 7 years ago? 8 years ago, my father died. Almost 8 years ago, my father died. The day after Christmas, 8 years ago. It took me a while. I had 3 children out of wedlock. I was effeminate. I didn't know what I was doing. I was weak. But people loved me when I was weak. Like I said, 3 months later now, from the time that I cut everything off and everybody off, I got to clearly see myself. And God is still working on me. But ultimately, it's a beauty to be able to be here today. And to clearly see myself for who I truly am. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not this holier than thou. I'm not this. No, I just been reading the scriptures. And I've been wanting to follow that the best that I can. That's it. And people will demonize you for that. I'm done with all that. I don't care anymore about what y'all think, what anybody think. I don't care. People tell me I should be here, I should be doing this. No, I should be doing God's will. And God's going to continue to guide me and lead me where I need to be. But ultimately, I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying I'm always correct. I'm not saying that. But God is. And God has been showing me signs confirming that I'm not wrong. I'm not in the wrong. I mean, yeah, I've been wrong, but as far as where I'm at and how he's leading me, how God is using signs of wonders and how he's using people and even certain rejections and certain things, how God has used all of it for a greater purpose. My experiences in life, even these past 3 months, and using how people have been acting towards me, how people have been treating me, and stuff like that. Like, all of it has been used for a greater purpose. Romans 8:28. It's my favorite verse, by the way. Well, ultimately, for those that understand, in these last several years, or even these past, if you know me beyond this, like, because this is y'all first time getting a glimpse of me truly being myself. Y'all got glimpses of me being myself. When I lived on 18th Street, growing up on the West Side and stuff like that, like people that went to tech with me, like the people, my old coworkers from Materion. I love y'all. Shout out to y'all. Old Chipotle coworkers, old Buff State coworkers, old Buff State students. Anybody that's watched me grow from a child up to now, none of y'all knew me. Nobody knew me, really. This is me. This is Timmy. I'm from the hood. But I can speak coherently. I can speak in a way which everybody called me a white boy, whatever. I don't care anymore about what nobody thinks. This is me, Timmy Lee Glee. And for those that accepted me for who I am, over the last several years, I've been becoming more and more of myself, like I was before. But I'm confident in myself now. I was always myself, but I wasn't confident in myself. And over the years, throughout my 20s, I was a diluted version of myself, doing these drugs and this drinking and this prideful stuff as far as in the music and this ego that I had. All that stuff was making me a diluted version of myself. And the moment that I've discovered God and Jesus, man, the Word is like this flowing water that just washed away all that, the mask that I had. It washed it all away, and I got to be naked in the presence of God and to be my true self and to empty myself of all the philosophies, of all the vain things of this world, to empty myself, to be filled with the things of God. And this is still a process. Like I said, I've been a Christian for less than 2 years. I've come into this truth less than 3 years ago. I'm still in the beginning stages of this walk. And rather I'm 5 to 10 years in, I'm still going to look at it as a beginner's mindset. But at the end of the day, God has grabbed a hold of me. He's still going to grab a hold of me. But I feel more comfortable to come out into this world. I feel more comfortable to having my eyes and my heart open to, receiving a wife. And not to say I'm even thinking about it. But ultimately, I'm open to getting out here and standing on God's principles and to do that in love and to be able to exemplify the characteristics of God and to, be more like, Jesus than myself. And not to say my soul, my personality, of course, that's going to be me, but certain disciplines, certain principles, standing on them, walking in the ways of God more, and we had a human example in Jesus, and a lot of people ain't gonna like me because of that, but also I believe that I'm going to gain a lot of respect because I'm being true to myself. I'm being true to this path that I'm walking in, and no, I'm not controlled. I'm not mind controlled. I am not lost, and I'm not deceived. I'm not lost. Like, wake up, brother. No, I'm not lost. You don't even understand how much I've been found. I found my true self. So I thank God and glory to God for that. And I thank God for everybody that can understand what I'm saying. Because like I said, it's been a lot for me these last several years, and even this video feels like it's all over the place, but I feel like it's necessary to get all this off my chest. Because like I said, it's been a long 3 months that I got to think long and hard, and I'm ready to rekindle the connections that I've severed. I'm ready to make things right with the people that even some of the people that I've cut off, and I'm ready to move forward in my business ventures, and also with connecting on a deeper level with business. And I can be out here in this world and not lust anymore, and I can converse with the opposite sex without any type of ulterior thoughts in my mind. I can converse with people more confidently and stand boldly on what I believe in, man. Also, that's healthy for like conversation with people. Like I said, this past Saturday, I was at this event, and it was beautiful. That I'm able to, express my opinions and my thoughts, and be received in a way that I'm not being attacked. And that's because I feel like it's just the environments that I was in and the environments that I used to be in. I could tell that I'm in the right place now compared to where I was on the internet expressing myself. Like, I'm done with that. If you really want to hear what's on my mind, listen to my music. If you want to hear what's on my mind, go to my YouTube page, Timmy Lee Glean. You're going to hear all the thoughts and stuff that I have. I have many ways I've been expressing my stuff. I really want to use Facebook to truly just, I don't want to use it like it's been unhealthy to be on this thing every single day. Feel like I have to be on it every day. To feel like I have to connect and talk with people every day. To feel like everybody have to be in my business every day, or I have to be in everybody's business every day. It's unhealthy. It's too much to receive for just one human being. And I'm different than a lot of people. I'm not just receiving all the stuff on my Facebook and on my Instagram and on my TikToks, but on YouTube, watching hundreds and hundreds of videos, listening to perspectives from thousands and thousands and thousands on thousands by 10,000s of people. And this is all within a 2-year span. Tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of perspectives I have heard, listened to, and sought out. But it all was for a purpose, because now I understand y'all human beings a lot more. And I understand myself as a human being a lot more. And that I need time and space. But it's okay to have healthy time and space without cutting everybody off drastically. But I feel like God wanted me to do that for a reason. And I never want to drastically cut anything off like this again in my life. I have businesses that I run. I have children, family, and I do have loved ones that care for me, that may want to know how I'm doing, even if it's just my immediate family, and that I can be cohesive with. But ultimately, I want to put God first. And my issue was I'll put God first, then then family, then me, then music. Then that was my problem before. And now I see it from a different perspective. Is that I put God first above everything. And then the things that are under God, like family, like business, blah, 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 like all these things that are under God, I put God first in that. So I put God first over everything, and God first in everything in my life. If that makes sense to you, if you have the spirit, you're going to understand. But ultimately, I thank you for watching this video. If you watch this whole thing through, this whole rant, this whole expression of what's on my heart, I just feel like I had to get this off of my chest. And moving forward, I'm ready to dive into some new stuff. 5 Reasons and Things. I'm about to be dropping an episode every Monday on my YouTube channel. So you can go to my YouTube channel and Timmy Lee Glean. If you search Timmy Lee Glean, you're gonna find me. I don't have that many views right now. I don't care. But if you have a YouTube channel, you look at the content, you're interested, I say that subscribe and like the content that you like, and it helps the algorithms and that site. And as far as being more discoverable and sending out and spreading the message, the good news out. And also, like I said, follow my social media sites and all that stuff. I have links and stuff in the description and all that. And also my website at timmyleeglean.net. That's where it's the hub for everything. So if you go to timmyleeglean.net, you can scroll at the bottom of the screen. You'll see all my social medias under there. You can see links to all my music that I have, all the galleries. Like I got to take pictures and stuff. And even my production company website is off of that website, but www.godswillproductioncompany.com. That is my business website as far as for, the production company services we offer our weddings. For the glory of God, faith-based music videos, so it has to be faith-based music. Or some sort of deeply positive message without, vulgar language and profanity, because it's all God's will, and I want to keep things in the scriptures. Also, I do documentaries or testimonial documentaries where, people speak their testimonies. So that's going to be a new thing that I'm doing, and also short films coming soon. And also, the ultimate goal is for feature-length films and feature-length movies that I hope can get into the box offices and stuff like that. So there's a lot of work that I'm doing. I'm in film school. I've been learning a lot. I've been growing a lot. I said I shot my first wedding 2 months ago. It was a beautiful thing. It felt like it was yesterday, and I'm just going to continue to just keep on doing God's good work, and beautiful things are happening. I want you to continue to keep up with this testimony, because it's not over. This is literally the beginning. The stuff that God is doing in this earth, in this world, and how He's shooking it up. This kingdom is falling, but His kingdom is rising. And I'm a part of that kingdom, and I want you to see the fruits of somebody that is truly or desiring to truly follow God and to be faithful to God. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I have my things. But ultimately, God is working on me, and I thank God for that. But thank you for listening to this video once again. I pray that you're doing well in this pandemic, because it's still a pandemic. And regardless if I do the quote-unquote fingers, because it's a pandemic, it's still a pandemic for many people that are struggling, that are dealing with hardship, that have dealt with loss, because of not just coronavirus, but other pre-existing conditions which added to it, and people are losing family members and loved ones, and a lot of people are getting sick, and people are losing their jobs, people not getting a jab. I stand with you on that. And things like that. And there's so many opinions out there that people against, people and people. This country is getting split in half because of politics and politicians. And, ultimately, I choose the side of God. And a lot of people won't agree with that, but it's okay. Ultimately, I love you regardless. If you're a Christian or not, I love you. And I said I will be praying for you. I hope that you're doing well. And just thank you for watching this. I'm very humble. Don't think that I'm not a humble person. And don't think that I don't have any care because I'm a Christian. No, I care about you more because I'm a Christian. I care for your eternal soul. And we'll hope that you would, have something in your spirit to just open up the Bible and just take a look. Take a gander. And even if you don't open the Bible and take a look, just be open to the signs that God is showing you and presenting you. And if you're somebody that's been looking for a sign of how real God is, this is a sign right here. God is real. I'm not trying to force what I believe on you, but he that has the spirit to receive everything that I said, I hope that it hits you in a way that will make you want to seek God. Just as well as I desire to seek God. Like the beginning, I still desire to seek God. And I hope you seek God on a deeper level. Even if you've been a believer for 10 plus years, seek God still. You're never at a place where you're too No, we can never get too high and mighty in our heads in our walk to the point we're down looking others that are earlier in their walk. No, there's some people that God hasn't reached yet in that way, but God is reaching. When I was in the universe stuff, like God was reaching me in ways where many Christians will look down on, but God had my spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like for me to treat people with kindness, treat people with respect, to honor people. Those are characteristics of God that I had before I was even acknowledging that I knew God. So because somebody may not walk necessarily with God, according to the Bible, just know that God is walking with them, leading them to Him. So ultimately, if it's God's will, it's going to happen for you, and you're going to have that encounter with God that's going to lead you to want to seek God on a deeper level. That's what happened with me and all the other believers that I can mention in the Bible, and just all the people that I've looked at online with their personal testimonies. A lot of beautiful stuff has happened. But now it's time for me to tend to my children, drink my coffee. But I hope that this video is a blessing to you, and hope that you got some understanding. And yes, I am back better than ever. Soon I'm gonna get my hair cut, and y'all gonna see me, man. Boy, I grew my beard out and everything, man. It's crazy. But regardless of that, have a blessed one.